Hello and welcome to the chat. To not wasting time. You have to forgive me. My voice is a little hoarse. I've been coughing. This allergy season somehow snuck up and really hit me hard. Today we got my daughter, Kenzie Days. As everybody can see, my channel says Kenzie Days is Dad, so that's her. We're also joined today by Tina Marie Photography. Hello, Tina. And also from across the pond, we have
Hi.
DizneyDan.
Me waving to you, but like
I was gonna do a high five.
You're like petting his head. Like,
Good, Tina. Good. Tina.
wait.
Oh my gosh! Thank you so much for having me. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course, talking Doctor Who, you have to have somebody from across the pond because it's Doctor Who, man.
Hi everybody. Everybody's saying hi to us and
Hey everyone.
So let's get to the chat real quick, see who's here. We have Russ Stapleton, Mike Wheeler, Disney, Dan here in the chat, Cassie Shear, Christina Hickman, welcome. Mike Wheeler, of course, happy birthday week, Mike Wheeler, because you deserve a week.
Whole month.
Oh yeah, it's Mike Wheeler's month.
Yes, big Disney fan. Christina Hickman. I'm getting there. Lady Jamers, welcome, Jamie. And now Tina just put herself in the chat. So hey, welcome everybody.
what's up?
So the Doctor.
So let me tell the backstory of Dad and I watching Doctor Who. I have my best friend, my best friend, Emmy. I know her since I was like 3 years old, so her and I are super close. And there was one sleepover where she was like, "Oh my goodness, I love watching the show. You need to watch it." So she put on, she put on very small sections of episodes, so I didn't watch like a full episode. And with her being like, "Oh, this is the same character, it's just like different actors," and I was like, "That makes no sense. That you're lying to me. That's weird." But I guess I was 12 when I started watching it. And so I started watching it, and then I introduced it to my parents, and they proceeded to also become obsessed with it. So we would all watch it together. We started during, I think, Matt Smith, but my favorite is David Tennant. Doctor Who is not supposed to make sense. That's true.
No.
Not at all.
No, not at all.
Well, I did tell somebody who was thought when we first started watching it, and then I was telling somebody, I'm like, it's a good show, and they were like,
explain it.
They were like, it's kind of cheesy. I said, that's the whole idea behind it. You got to get past it. You got to go into it knowing that it's cheesy sci-fi, especially that first year. The first year was definitely cheesy sci-fi. It got better. It got better. The production value got much better. But and I think it hit its stride with David Tennant, and he is also the one that stayed around the longest. About David Tennant and Matt Smith stayed about the same time, right?
Yeah, in the modern era, they've stayed.
Right in the modern era. Yep. I mean, the worst thing about the old and the original Doctor Who, the first 8 Doctors, is what they say is that back when they filmed Doctor Who back in the day, they didn't think about reruns. They didn't think about stuff like that. They actually just re-recorded over the film they used.
Yeah.
And they lost it in most of those films in a fire. So to come across some of those original Doctor Who's,
Yeah. Very rare.
I do remember in my childhood Doctor Who with what's the doctor with the scarf?
Tom Baker.
Tom Baker. I remember watching that when I was a kid. He and it used to be on PBS here in the States. So I do remember Tom Baker. I don't remember much of it, but I do remember it. And what I think he was closer to the end, right? Like the 70s, 80s. I mean,
yeah, around that time.
They had the robot dog. They had,
and didn't they have an episode where they actually called back to the robot dog? They had him in an episode or something like that.
They have in David Tennant's first season.
Yeah. So, I had a topic I wanted to bring up, but I wanted to ask what your guys' favorite doctors are. I'm acting as if I'm in control of the stream.
You can be, Ken's, because my voice is just going to
Dad, because his voice is just so bad. So
it's really bad today.
Favorite doctor.
Tina, do you want to go first?
Sure. I was going to be polite and say, Dan, why don't you go first? But you were so nice, so I'll take it.
Ladies first.
Thank you. So my favorite doctor is actually 9. Christopher Eccleston. I can't even say his name properly in a disgrace, but he was the doctor that I got started on. And when I start something, I get easily attached to it, and it's hard for me to really break away and have another favorite after that. So he's just always stuck with me. I love his catchphrase. Fantastic. I absolutely love it. I say it all the time. My friends are like, you're weird. And I'm like, no, you have to watch Doctor Who to understand where I'm coming from. And then thus leads the spiral of getting everybody I know hooked on Doctor Who. So 9, he's my favorite.
I believe they took Doctor Who off Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
We still have it. We still have it in the UK. So
on Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh.
Time to go change my Netflix location.
Yeah, seriously.
Time to train thinking I live over there.
On your account?
We will only use it to watch Doctor Who.
Yes, we promise. We'll be good.
Welcome in, Alyssa Steinberg.
Hey,
Steinberg.
Steinberg.
Whatever. It's bad. It's bad today.
What about you, Dan?
Yes, Mike. My voice is a little raspy, but So Dan, what is your favorite doctor?
Well, it's weird because over in the UK, obviously we've had it since the start. I mean, my parents watched it when they were kids. It's kind of like a TV show. Like I could equivalent it to something like Seinfeld, where you guys back in the day watched that, and it was kind of like everyone watched Doctor Who. And obviously I started off with Christopher Eccleston, being terrified as a child when the Dalek went up the stairs, and I'd be terrified going to bed at night as a child because I always thought I was never safe from a Dalek. Hence my name. We
thought we were safe from them.
Yeah, you thought you thought you'd be able to be safe upstairs.
And then he's like,
yeah, it's just like he just doesn't stop coming. But my favorite Doctor has to be probably Matt Smith. Don't get me wrong, I love Christopher Eccleston. He did a great job sort of bringing back that character in a sort of a dark way. You know something happened between his regeneration between 8 and 9, which is great. David Tennant, I did really enjoy. I actually prefer the episodes from David Tennant over the episodes of Matt Smith. But as a doctor, I think he was way more alien than human.
Wow.
I felt like David Tennant was very much like a ladies' man. He always got the girl. He was always very charming. And
Matt Smith has no eyebrows.
I
just wanted to mention that, like that fits with the alien thing because he has no eyebrows.
Right. I just think his wacky humor, his wackiness was very alien. But then when he got serious, like he was down, he was ready to go. Like whereas David Tennant, like he had those moments where he was like pouting the whole time. And it was like,
yeah,
I love them both. But I think David Tennant Matt Smith, because he was very much more he was more time lordy than than
David Tennant. Yeah. Well, so, David Tennant is suave, and you know, have you seen anything that he's done afterwards? I mean, he's got that persona. You know, he's just
even in Harry Potter when he was the villain, he was still.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
I completely like. We watched Doctor Who, and Dad was like, "You know, he was in Harry Potter, right?" And I was like, "What?" Like, I just completely forgot that his character existed in Harry Potter.
Yeah. For like a small minute though, so.
Yeah, Dad, what was your favorite Doctor? Did you say?
My
because I have a question after you answer.
Okay, my favorite Doctor, I think, is David Tennant. I think at times he did have that quirkiness, and he did. And no, he didn't get every lady that he. I mean, I think uh, almost every traveler that was with him fell for him.
Yeah.
Except one.
Okay. We'll get to their dad. Stop.
Because
I'm about to ask another question.
I love Donna.
I'm literally about to ask a question. Shut up.
All right, go ahead.
I'm about to ask everyone, who is your favorite companion?
Oh.
And I know Dad's is Donna. Dad loved, like, literally anything to do with Donna.
Yeah.
Those episodes are just so amazing because he didn't.
And
like
she
they didn't have a
She
romantic
didn't fall for him.
relationship. They were just like best friends.
That's tough.
It is really tough.
Tina, do you want to go or?
What?
Kenzie, go ahead, Kenzie. I'll let you go. I'll let you say what you're going to say.
No, I don't even know what mine is. I know Dad's is Donna, but I don't know.
Yeah, mine is Rose. So Billy Piper and I go back literally in like mid to late 90s. I met her when she was a singer at a festival in Boston, and she was just one of my favorites back then. You know, she was super nice. She was amazing to me. And then when I saw her on Doctor Who, I was like, I know her. I don't really know her. I met her once, you know, but I was like, I've met her, and I was so excited. And she just, like, again, her, like, the chemistry, I feel like, so she is my favorite companion. But if you're going to go into, like, who's my favorite pair, it's not her and Eccleston. It's not her and Nine. It's her and David Tennant.
Yes.
The two of them together were my favorite. Like, the chemistry between the two of them, I think, was just phenomenal. And I loved it so much.
I actually have a picture of me and my friend recreating the picture where they're on the other sides of the wall.
Nice.
It's like the saddest picture ever, but we're both on the opposite sides of this wall. It's just like the funniest thing, but it's the saddest scene ever. Yeah. Like that entire scene broke me.
Ripping them apart. Yeah. It's just spoilers, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. That's about to pull up the spoilers. Yep.
Spoilers.
So, Mom said that she liked Clara and Rose, but not Martha. And then Lady Jamers says that she liked Amy and also really liked Martha. Personally, I did not like Martha at all. She was very whiny to me. Clara, I thought, was a really good companion. She was a little, like, confusing at times. But I think that's the point of the show, is that no one has, like, a completely perfect moral high ground, you'd say. Everybody kind of has their own selfish things that they have. Yeah. The only person I can ever think of that genuinely, like, always was kind of like, and then that goes back to, obviously, Donna is, like, one of my favorite, because she was always kind of like, she was never on the same page as the Doctor. And that was what was cool about her, because she was always like, well, why aren't we doing this? And then they'd go and do that, and then it would be totally better than what he wanted to do. So, and then Russ said Amy and Rory,
which is an excellent pair.
And then Christine said K9.
So, who's your best companion?
Mine. See, I actually do like Martha. I think because there wasn't
have their own opinions on stuff.
Right. I think because there wasn't a romantic relationship between the Doctor and Martha. And I like the fact Martha was kind of like treated the same. Well, the Doctor tried to treat Martha the same as Rose, like taking her to the same planets, same thing. But obviously they're very, very different. And I think Martha kind of stood up for herself and said, no, I'm not second best. I'm not, I'm not being sort of, and some of the episodes that she was in, phenomenal. I'm sure we'll get into episodes as well. But I actually really liked her, and I think the ending of that season with her and her family, really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. And I think she was she put the Doctor in check. Mm-hmm. That's kind of why I liked her. I would like to honorable mention Bill Potts. if we had more than just one season with Bill Potts, I think I would have really liked her, because I think the chemistry with her and Peter Capaldi's Doctor was actually really good. But
Right.
we only had
pulling
one.
it up because Dad's not remembering who Bill is.
She's the one with the big puffy hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because Dad was having a moment of trying to remember, so I had to look it up for him.
But I loved their chemistry together. But if they had more than one season, I think she would be really high on my list.
Mhm.
But it kind of just upsets me that she only had one season. And yeah, and yeah.
During her scene is actually when I stopped watching. I haven't watched any of 13.
I watched the first 2-3 episodes of 13, and
I've watched I think I've watched the first season of 13. I think.
Mom is asking how everybody feels about the companions of 13. So
Well, hold on.
I don't have any opinions because I haven't watched it.
Yeah,
It hasn't really been something I've been interested in watching. I'm more into older episodes.
So I mean, as far as 13 goes, I don't. If they made the Doctor a female because that was what society wanted, or did they make the Doctor a female because they thought it was a natural progression? Did they see how they went from the Master to Missy, and it worked out really well, and said, "Hey, listen, we could try that with the Doctor or something"? I'm not a big fan of just giving into what's demanded.
Yep.
You know.
See, I had no issue with them going with a female Doctor at all.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, if you watch the season, Jodie Whittaker's performance is really good. Like, I actually really enjoyed her performance. But the writing is awful. I mean, it reminds me of those episodes, David Tennant's episode called Love and Monsters, where he's barely in it, and it's with that monster with all the faces, and it was just a terrible episode. It reminds me of every episode being like that. And it's kind of like new Monster of the Week kind of show, rather than it being like a coherent series storyline. There was no consistency, and I just got really old of the writing so fast. I really like her as the Doctor, but I bet you if Stephen Moffat was on his game like he did the writing for such as Blink, the episode for Blink,
Oh my goodness! I
Jodie Whittaker do it, I think it would have been fine. But the writing is that bad that there's nothing really that captivates me. Like, I am not excited about the next season. I have no interest.
I haven't watched any of her at all. Like I've seen, she looks interesting. Mom says that she's like a female David Tennant. That's the way my mom thinks.
Her reaction.
Mom really likes her.
Yeah.
But I personally just can't get into it either. I can't say anything about the writing, but I'm going to agree with you because I've watched shows with very bad writing, and it's very obvious when the writing is not up to par with other episodes. Like, Lady Jamers, Blink is one of the best episodes in all of Doctor Who.
Oh,
there's no doubt about Blink. And the one right behind that is the last episodes. Is the last episodes of Rory and Amy Potts, Potts and Rory, and how they brought the Weeping Angels into them, and knowing that they had a great life even after, the angels did take.
Even
them,
though they worked with, like they had a good life without the Doctor, and that was
right.
Something that was hard. What is the episode with the fireplace?
Yeah.
The one with
the girl in the fireplace.
That's the
girl in the fireplace.
Yeah, that
was one of my first episodes
with Madame de Pompadour.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And it was a spaceship.
Yeah.
Oh.
Realistically, when they zoomed out, it was a welcome in Stacey Rogers, the mod of all streams.
Hey, Stacey.
I mean that was an interesting episode, and the way it moved, and the way that they deal. Obviously, time travel is time travel. I mean, I just find it always weird that he can go back and forward through time. You would think that they would visit the same areas and the same times that sooner or later. You know what I mean? I shouldn't say. They could technically visit themselves in some time that they've been there, unless the TARDIS has and I'm not 100% on the lore. Is the TARDIS kind of like restricted from being in the same spot at the same time.
I
You know
believe
what I
that's
mean?
what it was. Is the TARDIS can't be around it. I don't remember exactly. It's been a very long time since I've watched it. And there's also, I mean, when it came to Matt Smith, I really loved Matt Smith. Matt Smith's storylines, I didn't like. I was not a fan of the whole time travel thing. That I still don't even understand the plot of those seasons. I don't know what they are. Like the time travel just really messes me up. And like the whole thing with the wedding and Amy somehow suddenly remembers who he is. That was just that I just did not like that. It was not my thing. I think they got a little crazy with their time travel. It was wild. I still don't understand it completely, but it was good.
I found a YouTube video where it doesn't show the Doctor's timeline, but River Song's timeline.
Oh,
so
you
watch River Song's timeline from where she started to obviously the end goal where she goes into the computer in the library.
In the library.
Yes.
So it goes in the opposite direction, and actually, it makes that season 6, so much better because you can understand both directions. So the Doctor's going one way and River's going the other way. It makes it better.
River's first appearance is when the Doctor is David Tennant. Yeah. So,
but that's near the end of her.
That's the end of her. Yeah. That's the end of her life, and you know. So, I think maybe if writing wise you look at it, is she did a good job, and then they said, well, the next season when that came around, that they can incorporate that actress into the season.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool. It does make a little bit of sense. Obviously that's Rory and Bill's.
Yeah.
That's Rory and Amy's baby, and you know.
And so I was talking. I think it was with Mom or someone else, but about how there was no romantic relationship between Amy and the Doctor. Not really 100% true because Rory always had suspicions that there was a relationship between the two of them. And then there was the whole thing about, River being a Time Lord, being the daughter of 2 non-Time Lords. But in actuality, it's, that she was conceived in the TARDIS.
Yeah.
So that energy from the TARDIS went into that situation of River. So that was kind of that explanation.
Yeah.
And
that's why she can fly the TARDIS. It's why she knows the Doctor's name. It's because she's been around the Doctor her whole life. So
yeah. So so that was like a thing that I was talking about the fact that it was very kind of weird between the two of them because you could always tell that there was tension between Amy and the Doctor.
Yeah.
But that was never kind of addressed at all.
No, not at all.
So I wanted to ask.
Hold on now. Look, can I take over my stream again?
Yeah.
Out of all the villains, the major villains, who do you think?
Literally was about to ask that, man. Literally what I was about to ask.
Whatever. Maybe because we share the same mind, just like me and my wife. Who is your favorite? I would have to say main villain because there are villains that came back and forth and make one parents episode, one or two offs, but you have your major Cybermen, Dialects. There's a couple other out there. So who do you think?
The Silence, Weeping Angels.
Yes. Who is your favorite villain in the Doctor Who universe? Ken's?
Episode wise, I really liked Weeping Angel episodes. Master wasn't a fan, just me personally. And I always say this on my own streams, and I'm going to say it on his stream. Everyone's allowed to have their own opinion about stuff, and I'm not going to judge people for having a different opinion than me about movies and TV shows and stuff like that. Like, I can absolutely be in love with an actor, and then you can hate that actor. I'm not gonna hate you for that.
I'm totally the same. Look, some people like Star Wars Attack of the Clones. They can like it. They're wrong, but it's totally cool. It's totally cool.
So Russ loves the Daleks the most.
Yes.
And the Weeping Angels are the freakiest. Ones I'd be scared of, Weeping Angels 100%. Genuinely terrifying. I liked the silence for, you know, how weird it was. I mean, I went through, you know, everybody goes through a weird phase. I went through my Doctor Who phase when I was in junior high, and I would write tally marks on my arms because I was a weirdo. And that's how I made a friend. Like, I literally made friends with someone after them, like, asking about the tally marks on my arm, and that
I
was
love
Doctor
it.
Who too. Like, that was
love
something.
I
I
so
did.
would have done that.
Welcome in Diz Our Dream. Jeff, Angela, whichever one has it. So
He
I'm
said,
a big
I am a
dork.
big dork.
That
So
was
that must.
Jeff.
Oh, Jeff's here.
But yeah, Weeping Angels and The Silence are my favorites.
Nice.
And I know
Jeff?
that's very basic.
Dan.
Oh, I mean, the only villains that actually made me terrified that I would never watch the show again. But then I realized how like brilliant the episode is. It's the Weeping Angels. I think what a clever villain. I mean, you know, as soon as you talk about the Weeping Angels, you're literally watching every other person blink, and you're like, "Yep, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead," or you're sent back in time. But they are just the way the creators came up with this idea that you have to not blink to survive. It's so clever, and that episode just it's scary. Like it's a fantastic. It's probably one of the best episodes of TV in general. Like not just in Doctor Who, but in general. That and introducing those is amazing. But I want to see maybe a bit more from them. And but yeah, no, Weeping Angels for sure. Probably my favorite.
So your Weeping Angels is your favorite. Okay, Tina, what is your favorite enemy or villain?
Honestly, those Weeping Angels are horrifying.
Yeah.
Anywhere I go now and I see a statue of an angel, I'm like, slowly walk away.
I'm not going to turn my back to you.
Yeah, it's like terrifying. But I don't know that. I really don't know that. I think I would say. I don't think I would have a favorite because I hated all of them. They were like Doctor Who is one of those shows that like literally every stinking villain in any episode scared the bejesus out of me. Like,
which they were supposed to.
Yeah.
Right. It was like, and it's not like your typical like horror movie scary. It makes it even better or worse, however you want to look at it. It's like the creep factor and eerie factor of it. It's like send chills up your spine for me. So I don't really, not really necessarily favorite, but terrifying wise, the Weeping Angels and the frickin' mannequins. Okay.
Oh my gosh, yes, the mannequins.
Okay. I'm safe in my
like
Walmart.
the first episode ever was in season 9. Terrifying.
So I walk into any store. I'm safe in my Walmart. So I know when I'm going to walk into my Walmart, I'm not going to see a mannequin. But I know if I'm going to the mall and I'm walking into Macy's, I'm steering clear of the clothing sections because I ain't confronting no mannequin. Not happening. Scares the living daylights out of me.
They're pretty much just plastic zombies with guns.
Yeah.
Yes.
But and you could see the evolution. I mean, obviously, the first episode of Doctor 9 or the rebirth of Doctor Who, if you would like to say, wasn't Rory one of those characters? I mean, when the Pandora box story arc,
one of them.
Yeah,
he was one of those
fingers like popped open and it was a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting on how they they moved everything with that. And
So
what I did like was the story arcs that they had. You
Yeah.
know, there was a long story arc.
Can I throw in two honorable mentions really quick?
of course.
Go ahead.
Number one, the empty child with the gas mask.
Oh yeah, Tina has a
Oh,
story about this.
Are you my mum? Are you?
Oh.
Mom?
No, Tina.
I can't say it, Ken's. My voice is off. Can you
That
say
is-
it, Ken's?
That is freaky.
Dan, I have to. I just have to. My daughter, my 8-year-old, when she was like 4 or 5, I swear. So we're all in bed, and she comes in my bedroom, and it's pitch dark, and I just see this silhouette of a 4 or 5-year-old, and all of a sudden I hear, "Mommy,"
Oh
and I
my
was like,
god.
"Oh, no,
Yes.
no."
Oh my god.
You poor woman.
Oh,
my
no.
god, I screamed.
Hey, so I didn't know if I could call that a villain, because that would definitely have been.
Well, they're
Well,
not villainous. They're not.
That's a side character. I like Russ said. Like Russ just put in there, his favorite side character is the face of Bo.
Yeah.
Yes, face
Yeah.
of. I was about to mention about Captain Jack. I was gonna mention him because he is face of Bo. But yeah, like I feel like one of the many
He's assumed to be face of Bo. I don't think they ever came out and said
Literally,
100%.
says that people call him Bo.
Yeah.
Thing that happened, Dad.
I think he did say like the
Yeah.
face of Bo they called me or something like that.
They would call him the face of Bo. That was like a whole thing. But I really liked Captain Jack.
Mm.
And like, I mean, there are so many episodes. My favorite episodes is when they'd go to other planets.
Yeah.
And they'd go to like, what was that? Oh, I forget like episodes, but it was when I don't even remember what doctor it is. It might have, it was Amy, and she was like older.
So it's not Smith.
And it was like she had gotten old in this place.
Oh yeah. And
Oh yeah.
It was a
there
robot.
were robots going around with like a thing on the finger.
Yes. Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah,
god,
yeah.
terrifying. Those things were so scary.
She was quarantined.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's really weird. Like, though, like things that have to do with robots, I think were the ones that freaked me out the most. I don't know why. Also,
yeah,
the fat with Donna in that episode, with just like the little fat children, like the little like literal like walking pieces of fat.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, that was weird.
Ugh, freaks me out.
I gotta say,
sorry, go ahead.
well, the Weeping Angels is an excellent. I like the dialects. The dialects are my favorite because they were just unstoppable. And every time you think that you killed, every time that you think that you've won, or the doctors thought he's won, he never wins against them.
3 doctors to defeat pretty much the Daleks at the end of 10, and they still came back in
Still came back. I mean, it's just weird. I think that what was the episode when they finally revealed Peter Capaldi? All you got was his eyebrows.
It was the day of the Doctor, the 50th anniversary.
Right. They just showed his eyebrows.
Yep.
You know, when they brought in all of the doctors together, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And Peter Capaldi, when you're talking about Peter Capaldi, he was actually in an episode of Doctor Who before he was the Doctor.
So funny you should say that. That episode called The Fires of Pompeii.
Yeah.
Pompeii.
I don't know if a lot of people in the chat know, but I teach ancient history at school, and I actually show them the episode because actually
That's so
it's
cool.
quite. And you know what's really funny is that episode. So all the main characters. So obviously Peter Capaldi's name is Caecilius. His wife is called Metella. His son is Quintus. They all actually come from this textbook.
Really?
So I teach this at school, and if I go to here, all these names and pictures are from the TV show. So this
Really?
would be Peter Capaldi right here. That'd be Metella. So that whole episode was inspired by this book, and
Really?
we teach this book. Yeah, it's
Hey, Danny.
pretty cool.
Football family vacay.
Hello, Danny and Noah. I don't know if I said hello to you on
Hey
screen.
Noah.
Noah.
It's a great episode though. It's
Oh yeah, I mean,
Didn't they explained why Capaldi was that face?
Yep.
There was an actual
Because
reason. It wasn't like they were just reusing actors. It was like they had a legit reason.
he took on that face. That's a face that was from his past.
So, who else was in that episode?
Ooh,
It's been so long since I've.
it has been a while.
Yeah,
So-
like we
If they took it off of Netflix.
Literally,
Netflix. If you're watching Netflix, bring us back Doctor Who.
we want it, please.
So,
Ugh.
Karen Gillian, aka Amy Pond,
Oh yes, yes,
Oh.
yes.
one of the
Yep.
the ladies
I
with
totally
the
forgot that she
eyes.
was in that, but yeah,
Yeah,
I remember that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Amy Pond. She was cool.
crazy.
But,
I did like Claire. I did like Claire as a companion. You know?
Yeah, Clara
I was actually gonna ask, how did everybody feel about Mickey?
Oh, Mickey Smith.
I hate Mickey.
Really?
Who was in the way?
He like aggravated me. It like for
I-
no reason. Like, and then the fact, like, I think it's nice that him and Martha found each other and like somehow that happened. But yeah, Mickey frustrated me.
Mickey. I think with Mickey, when you first are introduced to him, he is probably the closest thing to an actual British human that you'll probably get. And I'm not even kidding you. Like Rose is a bit sort of over dramatic, but Mickey is actually like there are. I know 100 Mickeys that I know in the UK, and in the middle he kind of goes a little bit off piste. But by the end, I actually really like how he's looking after his grandmother in the alternate dimension, and then he ends up with Martha, which I think is a great sort of like closure for those two characters. So I didn't mind him. I think
He just frustrated me because he was always like questioning the doctor, and the thing is that is such a normal thing to do.
he stole his girl. I mean, of course he's gonna
Yeah,
question
he
him.
literally stole his girlfriend. He became like I still can't get over when he like touches the garbage can and then his fingers, like I can't handle that episode. But I think it's just like he is such a normal person in it where he's just always questioning him. He's basically being a regular human being. What any normal person would do is question someone doing all this random stuff. But that frustrates us because, Doctor's our main character. And
So which one of them turned into a Cyberman? I can't remember which boyfriend that was.
Cyberman? I'm forgetting what it's
Wasn't that,
Cyberman.
wasn't that Clara's boyfriend? Clara's boyfriend turned into a Cyberman.
So Mr. Pink, Danny Pink,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
into a
I'm
Cyberman.
looking at characters right now.
And Bill Potts got turned into a Cyberman. All the Doctor's companions get turned into a Cyberman, apparently. So, I was just thinking. Obviously, we're talking about planets before. Do you guys remember the episode Midnight, where they're in this transport, and then this woman gets possessed, and they start mimicking voices, and then it kind of like possesses the Doctor.
Anything that has like the mimicking voices.
That
oh my
episode is brilliant. Like it's scary because it's all supernatural and you don't actually see the villain, but it's phenomenal.
Well, I mean, I remember. My next question would be, and we all know that. Most of us here know that.
Yeah. Okay,
we
I
have-
looked at that episode. That episode is so terrifying. I'm sorry.
No.
What is your favorite Christmas special?
Oh,
Because
I
they
think
would do
mine-
their seasons, and I know crossed over in a pond in England, you do your seasons differently. Like you call a season there a series, correct?
Yep.
And so they only have a certain amount of episodes in a series, where over here in America, a series is all seasons combined together.
Yep.
So they would always have a Christmas special, right?
Right.
And
My favorite Christmas special is the one that we saw live. The only Christmas special we ever saw when it aired was the one with the alien face hugger things.
the face huggers.
Yeah.
I don't remember that
And
one.
Santa somehow was actually real, and Tangerine.
Oh,
yeah.
the guy from the big guy from that hangs out with Simon
Yeah.
Pegg?
It's Nick Frost.
Yes, Nick Frost played Santa Claus, and that was another one where you didn't know what was real, what was
Yeah,
what was
those
wrong.
episodes freak me out. Anytime like reality isn't reality, can't do it. It's just not. For some reason, I'm remembering this character very vividly, and I just looked up his name, but I literally cannot remember a single episode he was in or what he did. But like Wilfred Mott, I know he did things, but I cannot remember what.
The Christmas special he was in was Voyage of the Damned, which is
Yes, I remember that one.
the Titanic. That was a really good episode, Christmas special.
That is a good one, yeah.
My personal favorite one, whether you can call this a Christmas special or not, but I think it is The Time of the Doctor, which is Matt Smith's last episode.
Yes, I was going to say that is my favorite one.
Oh yeah, Donna's father. Oh my gosh.
When he takes the bow tie off right at the end and just drops it on the floor.
Oh my gosh.
Like just that symbolism just gets me every time. I remember like I was crying. I was literally wiping my tears because he did such a great job, considering David Tennant did such an amazing job before him.
Oh yeah.
People were doubting whether Matt Smith was going to be any good because because David Tennant was so good. And then you've got Matt Smith saying, I'll always remember when the Doctor was me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was like telling the audience, like, this was my thing. Like, you know, he was great. And that episode was so good. So good.
My wife's favorite line, or my wife's line she just put in here, is "I don't want to go." The David Tennant line when it was
that scene always gets
heartbreaking. But I don't want to go. The knock 3 times, and it's actually Donna's father who does the knocking.
Yeah.
It's amazing. The writing in those series in those series was amazing. I don't know if the main writers has taken a step back, because he used to write for Sherlock too, correct?
He did.
Which is also a really good show.
Such a good show.
I love Sherlock. I got them in Sherlock.
We'll do a Sherlock stream.
Oh, absolutely. I got everybody else in this house onto Sherlock, and now if you look back, my wife's Benedict Cumberbatch with the big love heart eyes.
We love Benedict Cumberbatch in this
she loves him. But you know, we got to stick with the Doctor, because I can go on with Sherlock too, because I think Sherlock was an excellent series too.
100%.
Yeah.
And what's nice is those shows that can cross the pond over here to the States and have a cult following are great.
Yeah.
So I mean, I love that Sherlock. I just wish they did more Sherlock. You know, they do huge episodes. They do
3 episodes.
They do 3 episodes a series, and you're kind of like, ugh.
And they had such a large gap in between one of them.
Yep.
Because they're huge. Martin Freeman and
one episode is over an hour, 2 hours. What?
Yeah, it's more like a mini series than really anything.
Right.
So, what was I gonna say? Oh, the Ood. Dr. Donna is my dad's literal favorite thing to say anytime someone brings up Doctor Who. His first thing is Dr. Donna, and I'm like, shut up. Like, I love that episode, and I love Donna in that episode. And literally everything about the Ood with Donna, that entire thing.
I enjoyed where we first meet them with the episode Satan's Pit, where they meet, what they call the devil, but we don't obviously know if it is or not. And you'd get sort of possessed by him, and it was kind of like a chase through that sort of thing on the planet. It was pretty cool. And then that episode with Doctor and Donna, and then the guy peeling off his head to become a dude himself. No.
Anything where someone's very grossly transforming into anything, which it sadly happens a lot in this show.
It's when he turns to the side and then all the
Yup.
worms come out. No.
Mm-mm.
So
Hi, Amy.
Hey, Amy.
welcome in, Amy from AJC Magic.
Yes, Mom. We talked about Face of Bow, but we didn't talk about that episode
No,
with Face
and
of Bow.
did you?
The
And Dan,
the
Dan,
never
did you see what my wife put in there?
with the my mom really likes British accents.
Well,
Yeah,
Just
you know,
but yeah. So,
seems so proper.
Dad, don't fake do British.
Hold on. First off, if I was going to do, if
No,
anybody's
please
if
stop.
anybody's made a bad British accent, is Dick Van Dyke.
oh,
Oh, yeah.
don't go there.
But Mary Poppins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not even gonna go there.
My mom said she didn't mean to make that awkward.
We could really make it awkward.
Oh, dear.
But yeah, that episode with the never-ending highway.
Oh yeah.
That episode is so insanely and that was the episode where the entirety of the government, everybody who was outside of that highway had basically died because of
The highway. Yeah, I remember that one. That was weird. That was a
their
weird one.
ocean drugs that they'd take. I don't know. That was a really weird episode, but I loved it.
Can I ask what everyone's favorite episode is?
I know what my favorite episode.
Or
It's
like
all
top three.
right. Hold on. Let's do this. Besides Blink,
Yes.
because I think everybody here is going to say
Yeah.
Blink is probably their favorite.
Yeah.
Besides Blink, what was your favorite? Pam, Tina, you want to go first?
Oh, Gonzo, hi.
No, someone else can go first. I got to think about this for a minute.
Well, we'll let Dan go because I know he's got to pop out here in about 5 minutes.
I'm literally going on Netflix right now.
Oh, come on, you're cheating! That's totally cheating. Welcome.
So the first episode I ever watched, because I didn't watch a full episode. First time I watched Doctor Who, I watched very small snippets of episodes.
Right.
So some of the first episodes that I watched, one was with the silence.
Yeah.
One was a scene from Blink, and then a scene from The Unicorn and the Wasp.
Yes, I was literally just scrolling past that.
That episode, I really liked The Unicorn and the Wasp solely because it was one of my very first episodes, and because it was David Tennant and Donna episode. I also really love The Girl in the Fireplace.
Yeah.
I love that's a very good one.
Good episode.
It's really hard. Yeah, Mom just said Girl in the Fireplace. Yeah, that's her favorite episode.
That's her favorite.
It's
Yes.
really hard for me to pick just one because I love so many of them. I like the Are You My Mummy one. I like that one.
Oh,
that's
so
that's an iconic.
are you my mummy?
And Mom
I can't say it because my voice won't say to you. Are you my mummy?
Mom is reading my brain in the chat, so
I would say for me, firstly, I love Matt Smith's second episode just because the little young child used to go to my school when I was a child. So,
Oh, really?
but in terms of, I love right at the end of season 4, I love Midnight and I love Turn Left, where Dana has the thing on her back and she has to pretty much die to get her life back on straight. Because obviously the doctor dies in that episode, spoiler, but hey, he comes back to life anyway. That's a really good episode. I love Satan's Pit. That's a great episode. The House of Blood, where they disguise themselves to try and catch the doctor, and he's kind of becomes human with the watch. That's a good episode. And I love the Impossible Astronaut and
Oh, the Possible Astronaut.
yeah, those are good episodes too. So
I have a very short, funny story about that episode.
Well, hold on. Well,
Let's Kill Hitler. That's a good one too.
Oh yeah.
I like that one
So,
too.
Ken's, what's yours other than Blink?
No,
If
I
Blink is
literally
not-
cannot pick. So it's either
Tina, do you have yours? You're
You're
muted,
Oh,
hon.
you're on mute.
There we go. Sorry, I muted because literally same child that I spoke of before came in and said, "Mommy," and I was like, mute. I couldn't mute her, but I could at least spare you guys. My favorite episode is the one where Rose and David Tennant are partying, and
Yeah.
Doomsday, yeah.
Doomsday, yeah. I think it was the one he leaves another version of himself. I forget the details with her.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was. I think it was that last episode where I forget where they are. Like the pictures in my mind, like
It's
desert or something, and that was like. That episode made me feel things. Like I was like a ball of emotions in that episode, and it was just my absolute favorite.
I do like how Rose transitioned between 9 and 9 and 10.
Clara did the same thing too.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the transition between the two of them. I mean, between the two doctors, and because a lot of times you see like when a doctor finishes his time, usually his companion does too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dan, are you okay? You're not frozen.
It's yeah. No, that's my computer being funny again.
Yeah. So, I think somewhere here is.
Christine Hickman said Beowulf Bay.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna agree with Jamie from Lady Chambers. I think my next favorite other than Blink would be Rory and Amy's last episode. So that's just
a heart-wrenching episode.
Angels Take Manhattan is.
Who knew that the Statue of Liberty was a weeping angel?
Spoilers.
Super spoilers. If you haven't watched it,
that
my
revelation.
goodness.
To be fair, like the only thing
I have what are you doing?
The only problem is with that episode is I wish they saved that moment to later on in the episode instead of giving it to us like 2 minutes in, because if you waited all that time and then you saw Amy and Rory on that ledge and then you see the Statue of Liberty for the first time as an angel, I'll be like, oh my, but they give it to me in like the first like minute and I'm just like, come on. Like they had to throw that in. Like obviously we're gonna see it again. Like, come on, just give it to us one big like payoff. Like it would have been amazing.
So Kenzie, you had a story. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, it's fine. So in the episode with the library and the astronaut thing.
Yeah.
What is the saying that they say in it that keeps getting repeated? Who turned out the lights?
Who turned out the lights, yeah.
So when I was getting into Doctor Who, we would go back and we would rewatch episodes and stuff like that. And my friend who had gotten me into it, her and I would talk about it a lot. So I texted her one day and all I said was, who turned out the lights? And she was like, I'm literally watching that episode right now as you texted that to me. That is so freaky. That's my very tiny story about that episode, is that I literally her and I have like weird best friend telepathy because we will text each other about stuff that we were just thinking about, and it's weird.
I love it.
Awesome.
So guys, I'm gonna have to.
Yes, that's why I wanted to make sure you got that.
Yep.
Dan, I appreciate it. And when we talk Sherlock,
yes,
I definitely have to have you on.
I'll be honest.
When we start talking food, I'll throw you. And you know what? For you, 9 o'clock isn't too bad, right?
9 o'clock. We'll have to. Yeah, I could probably stretch it. But I just want to say thank you, sir. It was really an absolute pleasure getting to know you three a little bit more and the love of our Doctor Who and Sherlock and all that kind of stuff. We should do like a marathon. Like that would be so much fun.
That would be fun. Yeah. Just let us have the Netflix password.
Netflix can give it back to us, please, Netflix.
Yes,
Here we go. But I just want to say thank you so much, guys. I had so much fun doing this, and people should go watch Doctor Who. Go watch it.
Absolutely.
Now.
Even start off with Blink. Just start with Blink. It will change your life.
Oh, absolutely.
Literally.
So, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Go. Where are you going? So if people want to follow you, there's other streams that are coming up, and
Yep. So literally in 5 minutes' time, I'm going to be live for our Thursday show, Disney Nuts, and this week it's on the Adventures of Gonzo's channel. We got Mouse Talk joining us for our special guest, and we just have fun talking about lots of news and that kind of thing. And then we do our Disney trivia leaderboard. So you get to see who's stacking up. At the moment, we got Zippity Doo Dad on there. We've had Prince Charming Dev on there. We've had Dole Whip Dad on there. So we get to see how many people know their Disney trivia. And then there'll be a prize at the end of the year to see who's on the top spot, which is good. And yeah, it's just so much fun. And then Disney Fiasco this weekend, episode 93. And that will be with Rob Fuzz, The Live Place, so Dean, and Viper Project. So that's the weekend. And Disney Food Friday tomorrow. So yeah, busy.
I'll definitely be keeping my eye out open. So
all right, we'll let you know now. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much.
Take care of yourself. See you later.
Bye, Dan.
Bye, Dan. So since he asked if anybody had watched Orphan Black, I can say that I have not.
I know Orphan Black was on Netflix, or was it on Netflix for a while? It was on something.
What about you, Tina?
No.
Have you seen Orphan Black?
I don't think I've ever even heard of it, actually.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know what it's about.
Yeah.
Orphan Black is one of those. I think it's a British show where they it's almost there was a movie called The One with Jet Li or something like that, and you meet the different versions of different in different you get the
4 minutes left, Dad.
Yeah, different dimensions. Different dimensions. The same person in different dimensions, and she
Bye, Noah.
tries to eliminate them all. All right, bye, Noah.
I don't think it's ever been on American Netflix. It was on BBCA. Okay, yeah, I've never heard of it. And then Russ said Nerd Talk British version.
Oh, it's Human Cloning. I thought it was something else. I know there was a show that had that kind of
Hi, Pam.
vibe to it. Hi, Pam.
Pam's back from. But yeah, I really like talking about this stuff. So if we want to, because I would really like to find a way to get back to being able to just binge watch Doctor Who, because honestly, that would make quarantine so much better if I had Doctor Who in my life. So I'm gonna see if I can get my Netflix to be the British version.
Yeah.
So then we can watch it, because you can do that. Like you can change your location on it, so it's over somewhere else. So I'm gonna see if we can do that, and then we'll be able to watch Doctor Who, because I need to catch up on my lore if we want to do this again and talk about it.
Yes. Dreaming with the Mouse is coming up next. Thank you, Mike Miller, for dropping that in. Catch our friends Jeff and Angela and Kelly and Ivone on Dreaming with the Mouse. So that's coming up at 5. Tina, what do you got coming up?
So just my show, Books versus Movies. We're talking Harry Potter on Sundays at 2:00 Eastern time. And I just do a bunch of pop-up streams here and there. I got a new gimbal. Almost had Kenzie pass out when I was playing with it. And so far I've not broken it. Kenzie, you'll be proud.
I'm very proud.
Thank you. And just going to probably do a couple of I've just been trying to find the time to do some around town streams. But hopefully definitely going to be doing something between now and this weekend. So we'll see.
Sweet. Kenzie, what do we have coming up? And I can pretty much explain. Kenzie, she's going to explain your tomorrow night stream.
So tomorrow, I have to make sure that we're still doing it, but I have a restaurant Friday food review talking about a restaurant. I have to text Ange and see what restaurant we want to go over the menu for, getting an opinion from a picky eater versus a not picky eater. So we have that tomorrow at 5:00. I think it might be on my channel. I have to ask them what we're doing. And then Sunday we have our nerd talk talking about Thor, the very first Thor movie. I don't know whose channel that is on. I will have to go and look. But Diz Our Dream will be posting that in their community tab, who's going to be where for Nerd Talk. So, yeah, and then obviously my 4:30 to 5:30 on Mondays.
Sweet. I want to thank everybody for showing up here today in chat. I did try to pay attention to some of the chats and looking at some of the answers.
You did a good job. It's on my channel. Okay, sounds good.
And the best thing is you know, a lot of interaction, and it's Doctor Who. You can't go wrong with talking Doctor Who.
Right.
Huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up. Guys, have fun. Either go on over and see Dan.
Or put both on and then just...
Or put both of them on and...
2 tabs.
Well, I usually do.
All right, guys. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks, Tracy.
Bye, guys.